Good morning, everyone. It's Leanne Scott here from the Profitable Podcast. And with me today, I have the wonderful Andy Audate. And I am so excited to meet Andy. I've done his challenge through GoHighLevel. I have been in his Slack group. And I have been following your journey, Andy, to see kind of what you've done and how High Level has really changed your life. And I'm really excited for you to share your story with our listeners today, because I think there's so many people that can really benefit from using High Level. I love it. We've done some amazing things with Podcast in a Box. And I think it's one of those platforms that as an agency owner, you really get to package up your knowledge in a way that the likes of HubSpot and Salesforce just don't really allow you to do. So, Andy, welcome today. I would love to hear a bit about who you are and your story and how you came to use High Level and how it's really changed your life.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Leanne Scott, for having me here. I'm excited to be a part of this journey and communicating to the listeners. And hopefully by the end of this, you get some value out of it that can help you get closer to your long-term vision in your life. Well, I originally started from a personal standpoint. I grew up in the smallest state in the United States, which is Rhode Island. And in that state, which is already small enough, I grew up in the smallest city in that state. Just 1 mile was the whole entire state, or whole entire city, rather. And then I started a franchise, a T-Mobile franchise at 19 years old. So I'm the youngest T-Mobile franchise dealer. And I had 4 locations with T-Mobile, and I retired for 18 months and started a marketing agency thereafter to help new businesses. And I grew this knack of speaking and training in that journey. And in the growth of our marketing agency, we learned about High Level and utilizing this technology. And I saw the bigger opportunity of really building a SaaS and creating monthly recurring revenue. And so therefore I've transitioned and focused solely on creating software, selling the software and utilizing the technology to help our clients win in that side of their businesses.
Amazing. So tell us a bit, like when you, if I remember your story correctly, when you started your agency, you weren't using High Level. And I think if I remember, you were really in the grind of running an agency, and anyone who's run an agency knows that there is the joy of it, but there is also the dark side. Tell us a bit about that.
The joy or the dark side, or both?
Tell me the dark side first.
Well, the dark side of running an agency is many times you're dependent on clients, their ability to fulfill on their part of the campaign. And so what I mean by that, an example is, let's say that you can't launch a video, you can't launch a campaign because everything revolves around the video sales letter, right? Which is the video that your client produces to sell their own product. So let's say it's a course. To sell the course, many times there's a video on top of the page just to explain the value of the course, the benefits, and the price point, and so forth. Because many buyers today are kinetic, and they want to understand in a way that they understand, which is watching a video. And so for them to make the decision to purchase, they watch that video. So if you're a marketing agency like I once was, if a client is working with you and let's say they tell you, hey, I'll have the video to you on Tuesday. We have had instances where the client says, hey, you know what, Tuesday comes around, I can't do it right now, I'm busy. Wednesday comes around, Thursday comes around, Friday comes around, Saturday comes around, next Monday comes around, next Thursday comes around. Now you're 2 weeks in, you still don't have a video. And then we've had instances where the client's like, where's the sales? Well, there's no video. And the thing is that how the copy's written is derived off what you said is on the video. Your customers are going to watch that video to make their decision. So that's an example of the dark side of running an agency, is where clients who may not give assets. So if you're currently a client and you're working with a marketing agency, they depend on your assets to make sure that their campaign is successful.
Yeah,
that's the dark side.
Absolutely. So we had an instance recently where the client hadn't delivered the video for 86 days, and we chased and we chased and we chased, and luckily we had really locked down our terms and conditions. And after 86 days, he's like, "But there's no sales, there's no website, there's no this, there's no that." So yeah, we've had that as well. It's very frustrating. So let's talk about some of the joy. How did you use GoHighLevel to kind of change the way you run your agency and bring that joy back for your business?
Oh, can you repeat that question one more time?
So let's look at GoHighLevel. How did you use GoHighLevel to change the way you run your agency and bring the joy back into the way you work?
Well, first and foremost, so I started when I got GoHighLevel, it was because I was using it as a workspace. And I remember before GoHighLevel, I went to my wife. We were running the agency together. And I went to my wife and I said, "Hey, babe, I wish that there was like a drop-down menu that I can click into different clients' accounts to help them build out the campaigns." Because what the process was, let's say, for example, we're building something on Shopify, on Kajabi, and we're going to build a landing page. We would wait for them to give us access to their own Kajabi account, right? We would wait for them to add in our email so that way we have access to build out their landing page. That's one. And then another customer may delay on giving us access. Maybe they're busy running their business and their personal life that they just forget to send over the email and password for us to log in. So us having that issue of just being able to log in to do the job that we got hired for, just because of a simple password, I remember saying to my wife, I wish that we can have a drop-down menu. So we looked at other platforms. There was a platform called Webflow that allowed you to do something kind of similar.
Yep.
There was other platforms that allowed you to do something similar, but not as robust as really helping with the full sales and marketing cycle. It was really limited on just a landing page builder or just an email marketing campaign. And so we were looking at white labeling CRM. So we went to this company. I think the name of the company was White Label CRM. Talked to the founder. He sent me a book, the whole 9 yards. But it still wasn't as robust as what we were looking for. So we were like, man, do we have to build it our own selves to be able to make this happen? And I got invited to go to Traffic and Conversions. When I was at Traffic and Conversions, I met the CEO of GoHighLevel, and that's when I learned about the platform. But they presented this idea of like, hey, you can sell as your own software. I wasn't too keen on it at the time. I just needed a workspace. So I got it for the workspace. I was using it for creating these sub accounts. But then I realized that, hey, if I got 100 customers paying me whatever the price is, I can replace my agency's revenue, and my only product is the software. That's what I started doing about almost 4 years ago, 3 years and change.
Amazing. And how many sub accounts do you have on your account now?
300 and some change.
Amazing. And have you found it? Have you found it easy to sell it as your own software, or what were your hurdles?
I think the biggest hurdle is my mentality around it. I think in the beginning, it's like I was so done for you oriented, and I was so done for you selling. I was selling the picture of it being done. I was so used to that it was hard for me to conceptualize communicating to a customer that they could do something on themselves, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest challenge. Going from a marketing agency to software entrepreneur, at least in my scenario, it's gonna be like I'm so used when I sell, I'm so used to saying, painting the picture of this is gonna be completed for you. This is gonna be like I'm selling convenience in that scenario, right? I'm selling convenience of the hard part, we'll take it on. And so I was so ingrained into that when I made the decision to transition. It was like, you're gonna do it yourself. Like I'm gonna sell you the thing, and you're gonna do it yourself. But what I realized is that there is a demographic that wants done for you, for sure. There is a demographic that will pay a premium to do it to have it done for them.
Yeah.
But there is also a demographic that wants the tools. The same way that there is a demographic that will pay to have a driver, a full-time driver, right? There's a demographic for that. A full-time driver driving them around to dinner, lunch, whatever. There's a demographic, but there's also a demographic that will just buy the car and they'll drive themselves. And I realized the transition was mentally for me. I was so used to telling people essentially, quote unquote, hey, I'm going to drive you to your end destination. That's marketing agency. And on the other side, I'm like, I'll sell you the car, you drive yourself. And it was a freaky moment for me for a few months But once I got it, and now it's been a game changer for me since.
Amazing. And so do you still do the done for you, or do you purely do the here's the car, drive yourself?
We only do the here's the car, drive yourself. And then for the done for you, we have partners that are saying, hey, they're still in the doing the done for you, so you can work directly with them.
Okay.
But so if I look at it, my job is to acquire customers and build the base of customers and grow that base of customers. I'm not going to be able to do that if I'm focusing on creating a landing page for a client. It's not going to happen, right? If my attention is on, I got to make sure that this ads work and optimizing this ad for the Facebook algorithm and changing the email copy and the text message copy, I'm not in a mental space to acquire new customers or to lead my team to acquire new customers. I'm in a mental space of fulfillment. So when I sold SaaS, when I sell the software, the value of that is, hey, when I sell one unit, I don't have to. There's nothing that I have to do. It's all automated. So today, like I just got off a call with a gentleman previously in meeting you, and so he's gonna sign up for a trial, right? He's gonna do a trial. This is an old friend of mine. That's why I got on a call with him. Usually I sell on webinars, but he's gonna sign up for a trial. When he signs up for the trial, it's gonna take him through a workflow, and on that workflow, he's gonna schedule, join Slack, understand what he just signed up for, get the automated emails, meet an onboarding specialist. Onboarding specialist is going to know exactly who he is, and then they're going to work with him for the next couple of weeks, get him onboarded, and then he's going to start using our software. And I had no input in doing that, right, in the fulfillment. But as a marketing agency, I'm like, oh shoot, the Facebook ads algorithm changed. I got to think and pontificate and do some research and understand. While I'm on that, I'm not able to sell and bring in new customers. So when you're a marketing agency, typically you are able to acquire customers up until your bandwidth, and then you stop because you're overwhelmed with the fulfillment, and then you're stuck on fulfillment for X amount of months until you cancel them or they cancel you. And usually it's them canceling you. Then when they cancel you, that's when you're like, I want to bring on new clients. I want to bring on new clients. And then you're in this hunt every single month to go ahead and get new customers. And you're just, as a marketing agency, you're trying to grow your fulfillment capacity. That's what you're really trying to do in building processes and systems. You're just trying to be able to fulfill on more customers. But when you're running a SaaS, really what you're just doing is you're just adding reoccurring revenue. You're just adding different sources of reoccurring revenue. And the more people that you add, it makes your life so much easier because everyone is paying, and it's a stickier product. If you get a business to use their phone number, their email, use it as a CRM, they're gonna go through multiple marketing agencies, but they still pay you for the software.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. So tell me a bit. I think this could be quite an interesting comparison. Is what do you give your clients when they sign up with your version of HighLevel? What do they get? And then let's look at what I give them, just to show our listeners how you can really mold HighLevel to what you wanted to do. So tell me a bit about what you sell as your product.
Are you able to do, am I able to share my screen here?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Go for it.
I didn't know that you were going to ask me this, but I have a PowerPoint because I do webinars, and I essentially always have a PowerPoint on deck ready to show. So I have a PowerPoint of an example. This PowerPoint is from my white label webinar. So as part of the community, I white labeled sales presentations for GoHighLevel agencies where I'll just do the sales presentation for them and sell their SaaS. So here's an example of the
Can you share?
presentation here. Let me see. Yeah.
Excellent. There we go. Got it.
So this gentleman here, he does life insurance. And so I met him a few years ago, but to get leads, what he does is he goes on social media and gives away a free video. So he's telling people how to build wealth. And he uses someone else's video in this scenario. This is someone else's video. And so on his Instagram, he just tells people to direct message him the word wealth. And then when people click message, so in this scenario, I'll message him the word wealth, the software automatically responds and asks him for an email. So it says, hey, Andy, I'm glad to hear that you're interested in building wealth. I'll send you an email. What's your email? I wrote an email here, and the software captures the email. Then the software says, what's your phone number? Then I put my phone number, and the software now captures the name, email, and phone number in that scenario, right? Because the name came from the account. And then the software can send the email automatically to that person to get access to the free YouTube video and to book a call. So that's essentially, I think, and this is his testimonial of his result, but that's essentially what I promote and I sell. It's called chat automation. And we have hundreds of people who are utilizing that, where they're like, oh, I don't have to use a clipboard. You're telling me I don't have to use that? And I'm like, you don't have to use a clipboard, no paper, whatever. You know, it automatically pulls in people from social media, Facebook, text messages, and they're like, that's a game changer. I need that. So we have gyms using that. We have coaches. We have consultants, life insurance agents, real estate brokers, and so forth, utilizing that technology. We're just like, direct message me if you want to see this house. Direct message me if you want to become a real estate agent, if you want to become a client, whatever that may look like.
Yeah. Amazing. So for us, what we do with Podcast in a Box is we offer the same service for our hosts to invite their guests. So the guests say, yeah, they're interested, and that pushes them. So we use ChatGPT for that. So they can literally pick up their phone and go, hey, Chirpy, please invite Andy to my podcast. His email address is yada, yada, yada. And his company is this. And the ChatGPT then directly integrates with Podcast in a Box and sends out the invitation and does the automated chat to book them in for their appointment.
I love that. That's huge.
So that is for us, Podcast in a Box. And then we do the whole process. We nurture them. We then also get the host ready for their actual interview. And once they've done their interview, we then take over production and then do all the social scheduling. So we still have a very big done for you element. However, we are looking at ways that we can automate more and more of the process. So as you said, we just get more and more hosts on board as opposed to having to actually do the fulfillment, because you're right, it does mess with your head a bit sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, the thing I love, once you dial down that system, like for example, we have a service that is, we have a service where we host webinars where clients pay $3,500 for a template. Now, the thing is, the template is a snapshot that is very extensive, kind of similar to what you're saying. We sell that for $3,500 a month on a yearly agreement. So they're paying $3,500 for 12 months or $35,000 up front. And it's a snapshot, but the snapshot automatically changes the dates, the emails, the names, so on and so forth. So it's very robust. And you can sell that for a higher ticket, right? And call it a done for you service, but it's software that's just doing everything for them. You just configure the snapshot and the workflows and so on and so forth. So it could be tremendously valuable once you figure out how to automate that whole entire process for your customers, that you're like, you know what, have at it. Because if I were to try to do it, it would take me a heap load amount of time. However you fulfill, whether it's through software or through people, it doesn't matter. It's still worth that dollar amount. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Andy, we are both speaking at the GoHighLevel Summit, and I am super excited. This is your first trip to the UK, is that right?
Yes, it is. Yes, ma'am. And I'm excited to try crumpets and experience the community.
Excellent. And fish and chips. You got to have fish and chips as well.
Yes. Yeah. So this is my first time to the UK. We'll be hosting a dinner, and we'll be part of the groups event, and getting everyone connected. I'm sure you and I are going to be eating together with the group and creating so many amazing memories.
Wonderful, wonderful. And tell me, what's your talk about?
I'm of course going to talk about webinars. One of the easiest way to acquire, or simplest ways to acquire customers, is doing one-on-many. Because what I found was when I was doing one-on-one sales calls, let's just say on average I had 4 sales calls a day. Each sales call is an hour to 2 hours long. Let's just average it's 2 hours. 2 hours. Part of that 2 hours is preparation, the actual call itself, CRM notes, so on and so forth. So 2 hours per call. That means at most, if I'm working 8 hours a day, that's 4 demos I could do to sell my software. 4 demos times 20 working days in a month, that's 80 demos I could do. That's if they all showed up, if my calendar was booked, which rarely happens. There's another strategy, which is hosting one presentation and filling up your presentation with as many people. So for example, you can get 100 people in one presentation and sell your SaaS, sell your program, sell your products, sell your courses, so on and so forth. So I'd rather than working full-time 80 hours a week, 80 hours, rather than working full-time 20 working days a month for just to do 80 demos. I'd rather just do one presentation and get 100 people. That's equivalent to 100 demos. That's called a webinar. I'm going to be breaking down the strategy on how to sell on webinars at the presentation.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that, because I reckon if I can get 100 podcast hosts on a webinar, then I can do exactly the same as what you're saying.
That's exactly what the strategy.
Yeah.
You promote, you tell people, hey, I'm going to show you how to fill up your podcast on this training. They come to the training, a 90-minute session. At the end, you show them the whole entire system that you have, and you're like, hey, I'm going to give it to you if you buy our system, and then they buy your system.
Excellent. Oh, I'm looking forward to your talk so much. I really am. Brilliant. So, Andy, thank you so much for joining me. I cannot wait to meet you in person and to break bread with you. It is going to be an amazing event. Tickets are still available, and you can buy virtual tickets, you can buy in-person tickets, and I think I heard there are only about 34 tickets left last time I checked for the second mastermind day. So if anybody is still looking for tickets, it's a must-see event, and we are really looking forward to seeing you there. Andy, it's been absolutely wonderful. I am really looking forward to learning from you on the day, and I hope that you have safe travels. Everyone, thank you for joining us.
The website, right? The ultimatesassummit.com, right? That's the website.
That's it, ultimatesassummit.com, and we will put the links below so that you can buy your tickets. Thank you very much, Andy. This is the Profitable Podcast.